Welcome to growthtofreedom.com, the show that brings you inspiration, transformation, and leadership. We're helping you connect the dots, see the blind spots, and get unstuck so you can go out and generate more leads, more sales, more profits. More importantly, so you can go out and have a bigger reach, a bigger impact, and make a bigger contribution. Have you ever been in a situation with your business where you're seeing your business go up and down? Or maybe you're at a place where you've hit a plateau, or you're, running your business and you're like, oh my gosh, things are changing online with iOS and my advertising, and I'm struggling to get clients. So I need to work harder and harder and harder. But man, the holidays are coming. It'd be great to take time off, but you just can't. Or maybe you find yourself in a place where life, as it so often does, can get in the way, and it can derail us a little bit. And there's this fight that sometimes we can have with our business and our life, or our life and our business, or our kids and our business, or our spouse and our business. Have you ever dealt with that and riding that roller coaster? And I don't know if you're like me, but oftentimes the voice has popped in that, oh, I'm sacrificing for today to make things better for my family tomorrow, for my kids tomorrow, for my future tomorrow. And while some of that is true, what if that way of thinking is actually holding you back from getting what you really deserve, getting what you want? Today, I want to introduce you to the 5 simple steps to get clients daily and get out of the day-to-day of your business, how to get free, how to exit. Whether you're looking to sell your business or not, how to exit from the day-to-day and do it with style, with class, with grace, and not skip a beat in your business. Now, why am I sharing this with you today? For me, this is really personal. For the last 60 plus days, I essentially was in many ways forced out of my business, forced to take time off. Number one, my mom passed forward to her new life as an angel. And God bless her soul. That was pretty traumatic for our family. And I needed to tend to my family more than focus on my business. I had another family member who attempted suicide multiple times. And I needed to be there as a pillar for my family, more important than being caught up in the day-to-day of my business. And then if that weren't enough, I ended up getting COVID. Which, brought its own series of things that I'm still recovering from even today, right? So why I'm sharing this with you is to let you know you don't have to give up everything to get what you want. You can have a great business and you can have a great life. And as I've had a time to reflect over these last 60 days and being in business for 30 years and helping over 5,000 business owners, CEOs, founders like you all over the world build and grow businesses, get more clients, get free from the day-to-day, I've narrowed down 5 simple principles that you can put in place today to help you do that. And I also have a couple special guests that are joining me today who are experts in their own industries, in their own niches. Anna Fruling is someone who I admire, I respect. She's been working with us for some time. You're going to hear her stories and how she's been able to apply pieces of these 5 principles in her life and her business, right? She helps people solve some of the biggest problems around food cravings and food addictions. And essentially, in a cool, simple way, eliminate sugar addiction, which is probably the number one doorway and gateway to other addictions, but it's also one of the biggest things holding most people back. And also Stephanie Costello. And Stephanie helps people solve some of the biggest issues around communication, right? Do you know people who struggle in their marriage, being able to communicate, to be proactive, to confront issues, right? That isn't always easy, is it? She helps people simplify it so that they can connect more easily, right? Do it in a way that is comfortable so that they show up more confidently, so they show up more purposefully, and also they can be heard and listened to. How cool is that, right? And then I've got my right-hand man, Phil Mutry, who I've known for almost 18 years now. who was a student in our coaching program. Then he went on to build a couple multi-million-dollar businesses before exiting. And then a couple years ago, we reconnected, and Phil's been running our team of about 20 people for the last year or so, and been making magic happen. And I will say that probably the number one reason that I've been able to, take upwards of close to 90 days, over 60 days off in the business is having someone like Phil. And I'll talk about that, because that having someone like a Phil in place is one of those 5 key principles. So how are you guys doing?
Great.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I'm going to ask you guys some questions here in a few minutes. But before I do, I just want to dive into it. I just really want to walk you, as you're watching or listening right now, through these 5 simple steps. Like, I'm not going to hold a big mystique thing and drag this out for hours and hours. I just really want to share these insights with you because they're very close to the heart, frankly. So I want to dive right into it. Like, if you've ever found yourself struggling with your business up and down or getting free from the day-to-day, here are 5 things you can do today, especially setting up for the next 12 months to make them your very best, both mentally, physically, socially, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. The number one thing, what is the number one thing that you can do to, get clients daily and get yourself free from the day-to-day? The number one thing that you can do is set up an automated system for your sales and marketing, right? And there's a lot that goes into that, right? But if you set it up correctly, it allows you to have a system that brings you leads and clients every single day without it being reliant on you, right? Another way you could kind of look at this, like, what would it be worth to you if you had like a system that was like a rainmaker system, bringing you leads, bringing you clients without it having to be predicated on you having to personally do the work anymore, right? And we see this over and over and over again with our clients. One of they've grown their business to 7 figures, upwards towards 8 figures. They're on the way to exiting their business and selling to a big private equity firm right now. Why? Very talented at what they do. They were limited in how many clients and leads they could get just shaking the trees and shaking the bushes on their own. We helped them put a marketing and sales system in place that would bring them leads every single day and clients every single day. And now they're free from having to be reliant. Now, they still love marketing. They still love selling. They can't help themselves. It's one of their superpowers. But now the work they do is like the cherry on the ice cream and not the entire business. I hope that makes sense. Because what would it be worth for you to get your automated system in place for your sales and marketing, right? Number 2, have a great project coordinator. Some people call this an implementer. Some people call this someone who focuses on the execution in your business, right? And what's really critical about someone in this role, right, of implementer, right? Or some people even call this an integrator. If you follow Mark Winter's work, and he co-wrote a book with Gino Wickman called Rocket Fuel, which is awesome, right? But having a project coordinator or director of operations who, number one, they have to know the big picture, the big vision that you have, right? And then they have to know how to connect the dots. They have to know how to help get those things done. And so my greatest, gift in my business today, or one of my greatest gifts in my business today, is my right-hand person, Phil Mutri. Why? Because he is that implementer, right? He knows the big vision of what we're going for, and he's running our team behind the scenes to help them make it real, right? I've heard Dan Sullivan of Strategic Coach says, great CEOs usually are the visionary. They make stuff up. And I'll even say, admittedly, I make messes. So you make messes, you make stuff up. A great implementer or coordinator like a Phil on your team will make it real, right? And so having someone like that to implement, to get it done, right? I don't know if you've ever felt like, oh man, I wish my team could just keep up with me, or I wish I just had a team who understood this stuff to help make it happen, right? Well, what it'd be worth for you to have someone like that on your team to do that for you and with you, right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is having your vision and your values clear. Now, as simple as that sounds, so many people miss the boat on the vision of their company and the values of their company, right? And when you get it right, your team will know the vision, they'll know the values, And more importantly than just knowing the vision, right? Because you don't want it to be like memorizing. Because like, let's face it, we've all been in school. We've all been in situations where we had to memorize things. And how did we embrace it? We didn't, right? But like if I asked you to sing the theme song to the Brady Bunch right now, or the theme song to like Gilligan's Island right now, or the theme song to the Love Boat, well, okay, now I'm showing my age. If you're younger, you have no idea what any of those things are. But think of your favorite song. You didn't sit down and consciously memorize it, but it was a vision that was cast with some meaning to it, which is what a vision is. It's a song you sing with some meaning to it. And if you can simplify it enough that people own it, right? Same with your values, right? So getting your core vision, getting your core values out to your team, even to your clients, and then more importantly, hiring the people, hiring staff, and also acquiring clients that are in alignment with your vision and your values means everything. That's step number 3. So having your vision and your values understood by the whole team of stakeholders. Number 4 is hiring people who come on board your team, who care about you and your team more than just money, right? They have a mutual interest in your success, right? And they go beyond the money side of it, right? Now, that's easier said than done, right? But a lot of times you can hire or build models in your business that are related to performance-based models. Like our business model is a performance-based model. When we work with our clients, we have a mutual interest in their success. When they grow and they get success, right? What ends up happening is we can have the ability, when they achieve certain goals, to get a percentage of the growth, right? Which makes us free to our clients done right, right? You know, like our highest value client that we're working with right now has paid us somewhere, near over $1 million. Why? Because we've helped them grow by over 10 million. So any fees they've paid us are free to them, right? There's not a cost. So not only can you structure your business model like that, but you can also structure your business like that to acquire talent, and especially top talent. So that's step number 4. Hire people who care about the values and vision of your company more than just the money, right? Because money will take you so far. Number 5 is, and this is a critical piece, is allow your key team members to contribute ideas to help the business. It sounds so simple, right? But the idea that, if they plan the fight, they won't fight the plan, right? And, one of the greatest gifts, I had a mentor early on. He shared with me, he said, Dan, what would happen for you if you were able to find people better at marketing than you? At the time, I was kind of an ego. There's that old saying, your ego is not your amigo. And so I had a huge ego thinking, I had to be the one who was the smartest guy around in marketing. And I had to be the best salesperson around. And I had to be the best CEO around and all these sort of things. And I've learned, no, look to find people better than you in these different key areas. And when you do, what ends up, it becomes an elevator for you in such an easy way, right? Like one concept, Malcolm Gladwell says, the 10,000, he calls it the 10,000 hour rule. Right? You become known as a true expert when you've reached 10,000 hours. Well, what simpler way to acquire 10,000 hours than to acquire 10,000 hours from someone else? Who said it had to be your 10,000 hours? In the book, Think and Grow Rich, there was a time and place when Henry Ford was, put in court for Ford Motor Company because he was considered to be neglectful and ignorant and a whole lot more. And they were asking him a series of questions. Well, Mr. Ford, why is it you don't know the numbers of your business? He said, well, I don't need to know the numbers of my business. I push this little red button on my desk and I can bring my accounting team in and they can feed me all the numbers. Well, Mr. Ford, you don't seem to know like what's going on with, the quality of your manufacturing. You're right. I don't know all the answers, but I have this other button on my desk that I push and I can bring in the person who's in charge of that, which is a little different way of thinking about it. Like one of the best ways to acquire the 10,000 hours is actually to seek out counsel of people who've been there and done it. Find the people who have the results, who've been where you want to go, who've acquired that time and energy and expertise, and borrow from them. That can speed your growth, speed your curve. So 5 simple steps: set up your automated sales and marketing systems, have someone who's a key coordinator / implementer, have a team that is understanding your vision and your values, hire a team that are there more than just being there for the money. And step number 5 is a team of people who contribute ideas. They will plan the fight, therefore they don't fight the plan. And oh, by the way, borrow 10,000 hours, right? Now, what would happen for you if you put those 5 simple steps in play? I know for me, they are the whole reason that I was able to take over 60 days off without us skipping a beat, where we had recurring revenue coming in month after month. And in fact, it grown in certain areas of the business. And I was able to tend to the things that are most meaningful right now in my life, my family. What would that be worth for you? And by the way, if you don't have these 5 things in place, what's it costing you in sanity? What's it costing you where you're the one solely responsible for being the chief bottle washer, cook, and everything else in the business? Chief client gen, chief rainmaker, chief visionary, chief strategic advice, chief coordinator, chief website builder, chief traffic expert, chief of everything. What's that costing you in personal sanity, freedom, and a whole lot more? What's it costing you not having a team? Here's the reality. Nothing great gets done by ourselves. It takes a village. It takes a team for success. Team is a great acronym, TEAM squared. Together, everyone achieves more miracles. I can show you that when you have the right team in place, you can achieve more miracles in your business, in your personal life, in your health, and a whole lot more, right? Get clarity on your vision and values. What do you want? Just get clear on like what growth opportunities are there. Bring people around you that are there for more than just money. And then lastly, bring people together who are truly collaborators, where you don't have to be the smartest person in the room dictating everything, but instead you can facilitate greatness by allowing everybody the ability to shine. How would that transform your business? How would that transform your life? I know for me, I'm so grateful, so blessed to have that in place. And more importantly, looking at our client work over the last several years, the last decade, actually now 3 decades doing this, and watching how it changes people's lives when they can get free from the day-to-day. They can exit from the day-to-day. They can focus on the things they love more, either in the business or out of the business or both, and have a steady flow of income, a steady flow of clients, a steady flow of leads every single day. It's priceless. What would it be worth to you? All right. So Stephanie, Anna, Phil, I'd love to get your take on those 5 simple principles. I think, Anna, I'm going to start with you first. I know we've been working together for a few months, and you've put maybe not all of these in place consciously, right? But probably have a lot of these in place unconscious. The stuff I know about your business, I could almost say, here's a check mark for each of these 5, but I'd be curious to how what for you, with your success, you've just recently hosted a couple challenges, which in and of itself is a marketing and sales system, right? That produced your highest revenue months, to my knowledge, in your business history. What's your take on these 5 principles, and what would you say to someone who's watching or listening right now?
Well, I think the thing you said about getting the 10,000 hours, you guys have the experience and you have the know-how and you have the workaround. And so a lot of it took the guesswork out of it for us. And all we had to do was like get out of our own way, really, because, earlier you mentioned that, no ego, amigo, your ego, your ego is not your amigo. And I think that, when you first start running a business, you get attached to what you're doing, how you want to deliver it. I know what these people need. And I think that your guys' 10,000 hours helped us see, but how are you going to let the people know what what your message is? And so I really feel like that marketing piece and having that 10,000 hours of experience from you and Phil has been incredibly valuable for us. And once we got out of our way, everything just kind of rolled into place, knowing how to deliver a message so that we can do what we love and we can do it faster and for more people is amazing. It's just an amazing feeling. I mean, we have 150 people in our community, and we have, we've had about 40 people in our high-end program. And that's just since April. So I think that's pretty amazing for just opening the doors to our business. And so I think getting connected with the system and with these ideas is amazing, because we understand, on our team, Dave's the implementer, but we also have Phil, who helps us hone our energies into the right spaces and make sure that we're understanding the numbers and what we're doing with that 10,000 hours of experience that you guys have. So definitely, I think that you can go alone, or you can go further faster with help. So I am so glad that I accidentally stumbled across you guys, and you're not getting rid of me anytime soon, because the value you bring is absolutely exponential. You call yourself B3X, and for us, I think it's, B10X.
That's amazing. Thank you, Anna. So I'm curious too. You brought up the idea of ideas, right? And then you have Dave as the implementer, and then writing co-pilot to Dave is Phil, and our team behind the scenes helping support this. So if you were to equate, this is a weird off the cuff question, but like ideas versus implementation, what do you think is most important and why?
I think implementation is always going to be more important, because you can have ideas left and right, like a thought bubble, poof, poof. But if you don't have some kind of a plan, and one of my favorite tools that you provide for us is the video script generator, because it just distills what you want, what your end product is. Like, who are you trying to reach? What are you trying to say? And it distills that down. And so then you have an aim, right? Instead of ready, fire, aim, it's ready, aim, fire. And so I think ideas are great and they should be collected. But I think if you don't do the thing, if you don't take an action, nothing happens if nothing happens. And so having a business plan, understanding, your marketing blueprint plan, which you suggest that we revisit. I am seriously going to revisit it, because you didn't make these tools without the 10,000 hours of experience behind them. And so I think it's having systems in place, like you guys give us a system in place to help us implement things in the right order to get the results that we want. And we do the same thing with our clients. We implement, recovery protection so that you can, because addiction is a chronic illness and you need to have a good management system. And so we put systems in place for people all the time. So why wouldn't you want a good proven system for your business? It just makes actual practical sense. I think that a lot of people that get into a business are creatives, and they just want to, take out the finger paints and make it work. And without like a system or a framework, that can be very difficult. And I think it can cause like a certain kind of fight, flight, or freeze, where you're always going to war with yourself. Am I making the right decision? Oh, forget the whole thing. I'm out of this for today. Or you just turn and pivot completely all the time, or you freeze and you don't know what to do. So you basically get in your own way if you don't have a system. And you guys have a fabulous system. And I would, not hesitate to refer anyone to you that wants to have a system that's proven and that works. And when you guys help us, it really feels like a true collaboration. Like, we know you care about our outcome. And part of that is, because your business model is you want us to make a lot of money, and you get to make money off of that too. And I think that's a fair trade. I think you guys are extraordinarily fair and very collaborative with us, and our biggest cheerleaders.
Oh, I thank you. Like I couldn't have asked for you to describe what we do any more effective, and I'm grateful for that. And I don't know that I've ever even articulated that what I'm going to share right now, but this is our framework, right? Ideas. Everybody's got ideas, right? What we have an ability to do is to take these ideas, right, and channel them through this, through a process. And if you're listening or watching right now, if you can just picture this for a second, you have ideas. Plus, if you're creative, like most people that we run into, you need new ideas, like you need flipping holes in your heads. Like, do you really need more coaching? Do you really need a mastermind? Do you really need more courses? I could debate that, and they're all great, but you already have 1,001 ideas by 7 a.m. in the morning, most of the time, right? On a Monday. So you have ideas, but what happens with those ideas? So our framework is ISS, ideas. And then you've got the framework of the system, right? But before you get to a system, this is what most people are missing, is the strategy, right? Most people try to jump from idea to system, but they don't have a strategy around it. That's where 10,000 hours comes in, right? So what is your strategy, in the case of creating revenue or creating sales or creating marketing pieces, right? That's proven to work. So you've got ideas, you've got strategy, you've got the system to go with it. And then there's the magic piece, which again, a lot of creatives, and I built this because I built it for someone like me. And with, number one, our team supports our team, but number two, we support your teams, right? Especially if you're creative and you're looking to transform your business, and that's implementation. So it's ISSI, right? Ideas times strategy times systems times implementation equals transformation. Like, how would that change the game for you, plugging into a team that can take your great ideas and then put them into something that's already there, like a Play-Doh fun factory, right? And you put your Play-Doh in, which are all your ideas, and we can crystallize them down to the most important ones to know who your client is and your message and your offer and so on, put it in. And now you've got strategy, now you've got systems, and now you have implementation all running behind the scenes for you, right? Not theory, but we're doing it for our clients, like Anna, like Stephanie, like so many of the clients behind the scenes, where we're helping run the marketing. We're helping build the pages. We're helping write the emails. We're helping write the copy. We're helping plug into their automations, their technology, which can be so confusing and cumbersome and overwhelming for so many. So again, ideas times strategy times systems times implementation equals your next big breakthrough, your next transformation. And if you're missing any one of those four, you're likely suffering in your transformation, or maybe you're stagnant, or you've hit a plateau, or you've hit a wall. So I encourage you.
Can I add a little something here?
Yes. Yeah.
So I kind of felt like, to me, like Danielson, wax on, wax off. Like, I didn't always understand what I was doing. And quite honestly, I didn't necessarily trust the process. And just like Danielson, I had that little, middle of the night where I wanted to tell him, what are you making me do? Wax on, wax off. I want to play I want to do karate. And all of a sudden he was seeing, okay. And so I think that as a creative, I didn't necessarily understand the Play-Doh factory, as you said, that you were putting me through. But I can tell you, coming out on the other side, I understand it now, and I can implement it myself. And so, I want to thank you for challenging me to stay in the game and to trust your process. And I mean, Stephanie and I have talked, and the number one thing that I would do is get out of my own way faster and trust the system that you guys have built. And I just wanted to put that out there because I think it's really important that sometimes you're dealing with someone with 10,000 hours, you're dealing with the master, and you are the novice, and you don't understand, why wax on, wax off? Why do I have to keep putting my message through this machine? When is it going to be good enough?
Yep.
And in the beginning, it really felt like that, but I so appreciate it. The time that it took made our business so much more powerful and reach so many more people and have so much more conversion, than we would have had if I would have just, this is what I want to say. And if you would have let me get away with that, it would have been to my detriment. So I just wanted to put that out there too, that, sometimes we really have to just trust that this is new territory, when we get here, and we need to know there's a reason for it. There's a reason for your system. So I just wanted to put that out there too.
Thank you. Thank you. So Stephanie, you've had, quite a few breakthroughs that we've talked about over the last, 10 months or so. And, you are in a niche where, certain types of counselors, therapists, coaches, they, primarily work one-to-one for very low dollar amount, low fees, in many ways can be not really well compensated. And you've had some amazing breakthroughs. So with us talking about these 5 things, setting up marketing systems and sales systems, having a team support you, being congruent with your vision, values, having people who are aligned with values, and then having others that contribute ideas. How would you say these 5 steps kind of play into your evolution and transformation over the last several months?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to share. Definitely, if I could describe and sum up how I was when I first met you, it was a hot mess. Way undercharging for my costs, right? As you were saying, a lot of people don't charge what they're worth in this field. And so I remember the first time Phil was like, you need to increase to this price. And I was like, what? Like, there's no way. I don't know if that's going to happen. I had no idea what I was doing, no idea how to run a business, a baby in business. And I have to say, you both met me where I was at. You both gave me an immense amount of respect and trust, and I significantly appreciate that. You never gave up on me, which could have easily been done being the baby that I was. So I significantly appreciate that. But when it comes to running a business, there's so many models and ways to go about it. And one of the things that I know I can trust in is your proven process and how to run the business. So now when other people are talking about their business, I can see the holes that you've helped me plug in my own business. And so I'm not quite to the point of hiring people. Well, I take that back. Not like someday I envision, having therapists and all these coaches and having hired employees. I do have a team of people that help me as subcontractors. And so that idea has been really helpful, and people who are to the point where I started sending out newsletters. Newsletters were that big, oh no, I can't believe I'm going to do this. And now it's just like a regular to do, right? All because of the work you guys have done. Somebody responded to me once with this, that wasn't helpful, and this was a terrible email, and it was, all this really terrible messaging. And my assistant had seen it, and she was like, that was a great email, keep up the good work. And she was there to really keep up that fire, that drive, and she believes in the drive that we're aiming towards. And then just recently, I have another mentor that I'm working on bringing on and supporting and guiding, who genuinely looks up to me for support and guidance in their journey. And this person's much older than me, and I have immense amount of respect to this person, and they're looking to me. And that's all because of my ability to be an effective business owner, because of the work we have done in the last year. I went from making nothing to making $80,000 in a year. And that's not what therapists make starting out in the field. And so to take that home and be able to decide what to do with it versus somebody telling me what I'm worth has been extremely transformational for our family. But the setting up the automated systems to speak to that, like, I love the piece. It's automated, but it's humanized, optimized, and humanized, optimized, and what's the P?
Personalized.
There we go. I was going to say performance. Yeah. So like, it's automated, but it's not as if you're talking, when you pick up that phone and you talk to a robot and you want to throw your phone at the wall. That's not what it's like. It's really a genuine process of here, is what we're about. Here's how we can help, and building that trust for the person. And importantly, from their perspective, not from ours, right? Putting our expert hats on the shelf for a minute, giving it a chance to sit down and chill out, and really just get into the driving seat of the person who's needing our help, and figuring out what they need for a roadmap versus what we want them to have as a roadmap. It's been a significantly transformational process to be a part of.
That's amazing. And I'm curious, because you have, like, you're regularly posting on social media, your lifestyle. You do a lot of hiking, you go with your family, your kids. I mean, just, some really cool things. How has this, like, your business, like you described, tie into your personal enjoyment, fulfillment overall. Describe that a little bit for everybody, because I think, sometimes people feel like they have to give up something or give up a lot to get what they really want. And as I view it for you and, Anna and many of our clients, we're showing them how to, like get free. Everybody, it's so overused now. We were a little ahead of our time with this framework of growth to freedom, but, getting free, right? It's relative to everybody. So how does that show up for you?
Absolutely. I take 3 dedicated days off a week, and it's a non-negotiable. There's no not going into the mountains and for miles and miles. And if I wanted to take 3 days into the mountains, I'd take 3 days into the mountains, no cell phone service, no ability to reach anybody, and still have things running on the other end. Right. So I get to see clients when I want to see clients, not having to see clients after hours and missing out on my family time with my children. I can choose when I get to see, clients, and I get to be home and bring my kids to school and be home for them when I want to. I get to work from home. I don't even have to work from home. I can work from where the hell I want, right? Like I can do and be where I am. It's interesting where clients are like, oh, where are you today? It's like traveling wherever I feel like traveling, right? Wherever I feel like going. So it's incredibly freeing to live by my design and not by somebody else's design, or not by default, the way we think we have to work these 9 to 5s. And you're not actually working 9 to 5 because you're driving to your work and you're shuffling the kids around super early so you can get to work on time, and you're missing their practices because you're working till 5 and after school ends at 3, and all this really crazy stuff. It's just interesting. Just this morning, my husband and I were playing with our 3-year-old. We have 3, and the 3-year-old, I'm like, kid, you're lucky. You get both of your parents pretty much 24/7, because he's also working from home right now. And the other 2, they got some of that, but they didn't get us both together because we worked opposite schedules. We were miserable. We were trying to shuffle kids around so that one of us could be with them, but then our relationship suffered. And that's a lot of the reason why we're on the journey that we're on now with the work that I do, because it was like, that was miserable and I want to save other marriages.
That's amazing. And maybe that's, we were talking about this earlier for a new way to think about what you do, but maybe that's your hook. What do? I help save marriages. Now people go, how do you do that? And now you can, kind of, share that. So Phil, we've known each other for close to, I think, 17, 18 years. I might be off a little bit one way or another. And we met in one of my early companies that was a big coaching business that grew to, 175 employees and a couple million a month and all this crazy stuff before I sold it. And I was very blessed to do that in a publishing business. And you came in and you had a story then and like grew, and then you grew a couple multi-million-dollar businesses and then exited those. And then we reconnected here just short of, I think, maybe was it 2 years ago or 18 months ago or something like that?
It would be, it's 1 month over a year.
So 13 months ago, right? That we reconnected to have you help in this role, driving all the implementation for our team. So, I brought up these 5 steps, which you helped come up with for us, right? So automated systems for the marketing and sales, having a great implementer in place, getting clear on the vision and the values, having people who care more than about money, right? And are here for the other strategic byproducts. And then having a team that we truly operate from a place of contributing ideas, not that I'm the person, I'm dictating every single thing that happens every single minute. So speak to how these 5 things have shown up for you and what you perceive, as well as, you get to work with a lot of our clients over the last, 13 months to see behind the scenes and under the hood of some of the biggest names and experts that were quietly this, secret power behind them. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So there's 5. However, I just want to pinpoint, and they're all important. All 5 of them are important, but I want to pick the one that's most important to me. And that is number 4. Number 4 is hiring people who care about you, care about your business, care about your team, care about your vision, care about your values, and not just the revenue source. However, if you can find somebody that just doesn't care, I mean, it just not only cares for all that, but actually loves it. It's a totally new level. And I don't know if you recall, we were just recently speaking about that a day or two ago. And you specifically asked me, do I love what I do? And I said, it's not about loving what I do. First and foremost, I love you.
Mm.
When you can truly love another in a way that you love everything that they basically project onto others, that is what Dan calls a unicorn. And Dan considers me a unicorn. And I kind of love that. It's better than being called a CEO or a CMO or anything like that. Being a unicorn is just something very rare. And when it comes down to all 5 of those steps, number 4 is what stands out to me, because I love Dan. I love you, Dan. I love you as a friend. You're like a best friend. I love our team. I love working with our team. I love creating automated systems. I just love what I do. I just love what I do. And what I love more than anything, and a lot of people would probably be the other way around this, is I take unorganized messes and I turn them into organized masterpieces. That's what I'll call it. And I love doing that. Just being able to wake up in the morning, love your life, love what you do for others, and being able to do it all inclusive, all in the comfort of your own home, is MasterCard priceless. And I will wake up to that each and every day, 7 days a week, and continue loving it.
And I'm grateful, my brother. I am so incredibly grateful. I know for our family, for me, for this business, for our company, for our clients, like having you in the role that you're in. And as you're watching or listening right now, this isn't about like us thumping our chest. It's about going like, what would happen for you if you could build these 5 steps? One of them being have a key person like a Phil on your team. And how you attract, I think, a person like a Phil on your team is, number one, you've got to show up a certain way, right? There's only a couple people in my life who can tolerate my intensity. And Phil happens to be one of those. My wife is my other, right? Because I am pretty intense. I take on a lot. I run at a very, 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 very fast speed that very few people can really appreciate until they're side by side with me. And the reality is we all have flaws and we all have superpowers. The key is to build a team where you've got people who can complement and understand your strengths and also your weaknesses, right? And be whole with it, be good with that. And, there's ebbs and flows in our life. I know for our clients, having someone like a Phil on our team is a gift. He's run a couple multi-million-dollar businesses. At his peak, he, was sending out, 15 million emails a day. So, understanding digital marketing, right? Although he's process driven and I'm more creative, the combination is, as he calls it, MasterCard priceless. It's a powerful combination. So I encourage you, as you're watching or listening right now, as we kind of wind this down, is how would your business be impacted in the next quarter, in the next 6 months, in the next 12 months, if you could go out and implement more effective sales and marketing systems and get those in place? Not talking about, it's not an idea anymore. It's not even a strategy, but it's implemented. It's running for you and with you without it being solely reliant on you. Number 2, what would happen for you if you could get an implementer or a team or both like a Phil on your team, right? Number 3 is, what if you set a vision, had a clear vision and clear values for you and your team? And there's no better time than right now to get clear on that, right? Now, by the way, our vision and our values have adapted over the last decade a bit. So yours will evolve too. So many people, they get hung up, oh, I'm hanging my hat on this and it's final. No, it's constantly innovating as you're innovating. Be willing to innovate. Be willing to be imperfect right now. Be willing, though, to get it done, right? And implement it. Number 4 is bring people around you, right? Bring people around you that are in alignment with your values and your vision. And then lastly is build a cooperative, a collaborative, team-oriented environment where people can contribute. You learn from each other. No one single entity has, it's like that book called, the Spider and the Starfish, right? Most organizations are built around a spider model, which is, if you cut the legs off or the head off, it dies. A starfish model is if you cut a leg off, it grows back. What would happen if you built a starfish model or could plug into a starfish model? Now, all of that being said, I'll do a shameless plug for what we do. If you're looking for a way to get more clients daily, to get free from the day-to-day, if you're looking to have access, right? Because maybe you're beyond coaching now, maybe you're beyond a mastermind now, and maybe you're really focused and committed to implementing, like Stephanie and like Anna and so many of our clients that we work with. We're committed to implement, to get those systems in place to create that revenue stream, those revenue streams in your business. If you're looking for that, right? We give you the ability to plug into our team of experts. We give you the ability to have access essentially to a virtual CMO team, which is a marketing team or a CEO team, right? Which is chief executive officer. Having built and grown a couple companies that I built and then sold, it gives a few levels of experience that very few people have in the industry. So having access to a team, having access to people who can run your tech for you, who can run your traffic for you, who can build your models for you, who can build your campaigns for you, we can do it for you. If you're looking for an alternative and you're beyond coaching, mastermind, and courses, and you're really looking for proven methodologies, then let's have a conversation. Let's have a call and we'll review your business. We'll review what you've got, see where and if there's a fit. If we're aligned together, we can talk about the options we have available to work together. Our model is built on a performance-based model. The better you do, the better we do. We'd love nothing more, and as I imagine you'd love nothing more than to be one of our next success stories that is grown by 10 million, 15 million, 20 million dollars in business, where we get a small piece of that success too. If you're looking for a way to tap into that team, have it done for you, to focus on implementation and get access to some great strategy along the way, then somewhere on the page here, there'll be an ability for you, or somewhere on this video or somewhere, wherever we're at here, hit the link. You can schedule a call. Let's have a talk. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about your situation and see where we can go from there. Now, as we wrap this up, Anna, what would you've got so much wisdom, and I love how coachable you are, and I love how fast you just take. You're like quick twitch, and I love that about you. So if you were to recommend like 1 to 3 action steps that anybody watching or listening right now could or should take as a result of our time here, what would you say?
Hit the button and get on a call with these guys and don't waste time. Don't get in fight, flight, or freeze. Seriously, these guys are the real deal, and you will not feel let down, I guess, is what I want to say. There's so many, pretty shiny things out there that don't have the substance behind them. And I know Phil, we meet with him once a week as a team, you guys, and he's the real deal. The way he just spoke, you need to know that that's the real Phil. No matter what's going on in his life, he imbues life with meaning. And that's really important to me because I'm actually a high performance coach through Brendan Burchard. And at the end of the day, you want to live, love, and matter, right? And I think it's really important to have a game plan. And really, that's the thing that you get with these guys is you get a plan to get from the idea and the creative side to the actual getting it out. And I would really caution you, don't worry about having everything in place and perfect. If you don't have people waiting for what you're doing anyway, by the time you do it, you may think, I built all this mousetrap in this course and it's not even as relevant anymore. And so you know who you are and what you have to offer, and you've got to have people to offer it to. So push the button, guys, and trust me, these guys are the real deal.
Thank you, Anna. Stephanie, how about for you? What would you recommend as 1 to 3 action steps from anything that we've covered here today?
First step would absolutely be to fill out the call. Second step would fill out the form, book the call, schedule the appointment, do whatever it is to get in front of you or Phil. Second step would be go to breakthrough3x.com and get absolutely every free tool you can possibly get, because although it's free, it's worth so much money. Some of the free stuff that I received was more than enough, more than valuable to have access to that. And then sit down and use the tools, actually implement what you're downloading, take advantage. I would say the CEO checklist would be the first thing to prepare for the time with you, to figure out where are you in these 5 steps? What do you need to do to get to the next step? Because I'll tell you, I couldn't get to step 5 11 months ago. I was barely at step 1, and I've already been able to really get access to each of these steps. So take advantage of what's being offered.
Thank you. Thank you. And by the way, if you want to get access to the CEO checklist, send us a private message at help@breakthrough3x.com, and we'll send you a link so you can get access to that as well. That'll be in the show notes and all that stuff. And it'll probably a link somewhere here on the page, wherever this page is. Phil, as we wrap this up, what would you say would be 1 to 3 action steps that you'd recommend someone take?
Well, I'm just going to take it back to number 4 again, where you hire people that care about you, care about your business, care about your values, care about your vision, and also care about your team, but also take it to that next step to find somebody and hire somebody that loves all of that as well. So I spoke about those specifics to just specifically Breakthrough 3X. But what I would love to do is I would love to extend that courtesy out to anyone who's listening to this. If you're looking to hire somebody, or you're looking for somebody that loves you, loves your business, loves your visions, loves your values, and loves your team, and even be able to say it before they even mean it or meet you. I said mean it in there, but I meant meet you before we meet you. Then this is specifically right up your alley, because you're going to get it tenfold.
So there you have it. I encourage you, take action with what we have shared with you today, right? Again, there's 5 simple steps. Set up your automated systems for your marketing and sales. Get someone in a role of coordinator, implementer, executor. Have your vision and values clearly articulated. Hire people that value your business, value your values, value your vision more than just it being about money. And then lastly, create a collaborative culture, a collaborative environment. And don't be shocked if you get those things in place, that you can get free from the day-to-day, that you can have a steady flow of leads coming in, a steady flow of clients coming in, not predicated on your efforts. Your efforts are the cherry on the ice cream instead of it creating 99%, right? And if you're looking for that, let's see if we've got to have a good fit. Somewhere on the page, there's a link. Let's schedule a conversation. Let's have a talk and see where we're a fit. And by the way, if we're not a fit, which sometimes happens, right? About 4 out of 10 clients that we talk to are a good fit, right? So the reality is not everyone is a good fit for what we do. That's the truth. And if that's the case, what we will do is we will go out of our way to try to connect you with someone we know of that we have a relationship with that might be a better fit for you if we're not a good fit, right? So this isn't transactional. I've been doing this for 30 some years. I've been very blessed to sell a couple businesses, which give me the ability to do some of the crazy things that we do here, and get to serve at the highest level as well. And for us, it's about fit. So if something here resonates or connects with you, then hit the link somewhere on the page. Let's have a conversation. And one way or another, we'll either talk about how we can help you, or we'll get you connected to someone who can solve some of your biggest challenges in business right now too. So there you have it. Take action, seize the day. And oh, by the way, make it a great week. We'll see you next time on another segment coming up. Bye for now.